Again, she's putting out the big lie about evil police. Instead of saying we take a moment of silence for the 2 officers just killed in Tuskegee, one of whom was black, by the way, one was white, killed by 3 black people, or 2 black people, as it may be. 3 were arrested. Who knows how many shot. Why didn't she have a moment of silence for the dead police in New York City? The dead cop who was shot in the face, or these 2 dead cops in Hattiesburg. Why does she continue to put out this hatred and these lies? It's shocking, by the way. Is there no one in the media who's willing to say the king has no clothes, and nor does the queen?
Well, you are. You've been saying it, and I truly...
Well, why am I saying it? Do you think I want to say this? Do you think I want them to hate me? Do you think I want to put my life at risk again in America by criticizing the queen?
No, somebody has to be a truth teller, and that's what America needs more of, is truth tellers.
Well, it's funny you use the word truth teller, because I have to give it to you. My book, Countdown to Mecca, just out today, because Jack Hatfield had a television show called Truth Tellers. Did you know that?
Sure.
No, my character, Jack Hatfield, fearless San Francisco freelance journalist, defrocked former host of the cable TV program Truth Tellers. I don't know if you know that from one of my books, but you're getting a copy of Countdown to Mecca. So that's it. Now what's coming tomorrow? 855-400-7282 is the phone. I don't know the phone number. Okay, so liberals over conservatives, 9-1 at college commencements. Top 100 colleges and universities, analyzed by the Young Americas Foundation, revealed that in the top 50 schools, as ranked by U.S. News & World Report, liberal speakers outnumbered conservatives 9-1. Among the top 10, all speakers were liberal. In the top 100, it was 6-1. Schools also favored Obama officials, including First Lady Michelle Obama. See, she's allowed to speak this hatred. And VP Biden, another genius. 9 Obama officials were slated to give commencement addresses this year. Over 8 years of the Bush presidency, you ready, liberals? You got your pens out? Over 8 years of the Bush presidency, just 14 officials spoke at the grad ceremonies of the top 100 schools. I can go on and on. You can read it yourself. Washington Examiner has a summary. So higher education has been poisoned by the radical left, who has stolen the very name higher from the connection to education. So that's it. That's the world we live in, a one-party system. And by the way, the liberals like it. You don't understand this. You don't know that they're fascists, that they may be nice. This is something that really puzzles many people. Many liberals are actually, quote, nice people. I was in a restaurant the other day, remain unnamed, not the North Beach restaurant, somewhere else. I went alone Friday night. Not even with Teddy. I just wanted to sit and drink alone and eat alone. Okay, did you ever get one of those moods? So it was late now. It was closer to 9 o'clock. They sit me at a table by myself by the window, which they know I like because I got to push the window open. And I had a nice vodka. I'm waiting for the dinner. Okay, so table next to me. It's a crowded restaurant. People can say what they want. It's a free society. I don't know whether the guy recognized me. I don't know whether he was just a loudmouth. But usually after 2 glasses of wine, they figure they have a broadcast license in a restaurant. They don't understand that they're offending other people by expressing very loudly their opinions in a restaurant. I do it for a living, but you have an option. You could turn the radio dial off. If you're sitting in a restaurant, do you want to sit next to someone right-wing, left-wing who is espousing politics? I never do it, ever. Ask anyone who knows me. They go out with me. I never talk politics in a restaurant, ever. Guy starts in, and here's what he says. He says, you know, Gavin Newsom was way ahead of the curve on gay marriage. He came out so far ahead of everyone else. I gulped. I said, oh, my God, no, I can't believe. And I just sat down. The bread was there. The soup was there. The drink was there. The ice was there. The garlic was there. The onion was there. You know, like I lined things up. Everything was ready. Here he went. And he said, and by the way, to his others, I don't know who they were. He looked like a lawyer to me, like a white-haired kind of liberal lawyer from New York City. That's as close as I can get to what I really want to say. Opens up his fat mouth and goes on. He says, and by the way, Newsom is so far ahead of everyone, he wants to legalize all drugs. And the morons with him nodded their head. I got up. I didn't say a word to him because I'm not there to debate. I go to the owner. I say, could you please move me to the other room? I can't take listening to this guy. Put me in the bar. Sure enough, puts me in the bar, small table. I'm doing fine. Halfway through the meal, there's a white couple next to him. By the way, all whites. Next to me, another liberal couple. They're talking about some cheap vacation they're going to go on to Salmon Lake or this, I don't know what. Some vacation that costs nothing. All right, there are people with no money. And not everyone can go to Monte Carlo like the First Lady. Not everyone can afford to tour the pyramids on the government dime. They're talking about some cheap vacation here. I don't know, whatever. It's their business. I tune it out. I'm reading a book. Then, toward the end, just before the dessert, when she had 3 wines in her, the white lady says to the passive husband, I'm shocked that there are any conservatives in the state of California. Do you know that where I come from in San Diego, there are still conservatives left down there? And he goes, it's terrible, it's terrible. There are still conservatives in the state. Whereupon I, thank God, was through with my dinner. I left an obscenely large tip and walked out. I'll be right back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
My Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com, the only company I trust to protect my wealth with gold and silver. Call 800-BUYCOIN.
I didn't start out as the fully formed First Lady who stands before you today. No, I had my share of bumps along the way. But as potentially the first African-American First Lady, I was also the focus of another set of questions and speculations, conversations sometimes rooted in the fears and misperceptions of others.
Oh, nonsense.
Was I too loud or too angry or too emasculating?
Yes, to all three. Any other questions? Yes, you are too loud. Yes, you're too angry. And yes, you are too emasculating. Any other questions, Ms. Obama? So, if it was just a woman, who cares what anyone says? Or Oprah Winfrey, who would pay attention to him? But this is the First Lady. Their job is different than others. Their job is to bring America together, not separate us and divide us and turn one race against the other. Don't you understand that? Okay, whatever. Kyra on KSFO. Go ahead. You've got the floor. What's on your mind?
Mr. Savage, I am in complete agreement with you. I cannot stand what she represents for the United States of America. There's nothing ladylike about her, even before she's now got her new roots of baiting everybody. It's absolutely insane. I come from...
Kyra, she has 72 personal assistants.
Freeloaders in the...
She has a freeloader in the White House. She has her own mother living there for free. I've never heard of that.
That's the bust of Churchill the first day. Do you remember that?
We know why, because he's got, let's put it this way, some roots in Africa. And, he's got the anti-colonialist mentality. So what can I say? The country has been penetrated and taken over by an anti-American communist regime that is so stealthy and so good at what they're doing that the average person doesn't even see it, even while they're openly fomenting revolution on a daily basis, Kyra. Kyra, I'm sending you my new novel, Countdown to Mecca, out today or tomorrow. I don't know the day. It better be in the bookstores by tomorrow. I really mean that. Anyway, look, folks, you know what happens now. I'm sorry, many of you are going to get the bad feelings. It's coming. In a few cities, the show ends now. And in many cities, it stays for another big hour. I'm sorry I have to leave you. Flood the station manager demanding a third hour. What can I do? I give a third hour. They should take it. All right, I'll be back. Be here or be nowhere. Michael Savage, Band of Britain. Meds that cause memory loss next.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage. Warning. The Savage Nation contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised. And now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation, home of unprotected talk, borders, language, culture. And here he is, Michael Savage.
I didn't start out as the fully formed First Lady who stands before you today. No, I had my share of bumps along the way. but as potentially the first African American First Lady, I was also the focus of another set of questions and speculations, conversations sometimes rooted in the fears and misperceptions of others. Was I too loud or too angry or too emasculating?
Blue Monday, how are you, Blue Monday?
Yes to all three.
Got to work like a slave all day.
But your gravest deficit is your divisiveness. You still haven't accepted all the benefits of this country. You still haven't accepted that it were not for the white people who were hoodwinked by you and your husband, you wouldn't be First Lady. They voted for you. You weren't elected only by black people. All the racists you hate out there voted you in. Do you remember that? You forgot that already, huh? It's worth playing because unless someone points this out, it's going to get worse. It's only the beginning of graduation season. I can't wait till that dingbat Nancy Pelosi speaks again. And after she almost burnt Oakland to the ground by telling them to be, what was the word again? I keep forgetting the word. Disruptors. Dummy, be a disruptor. You hear? They almost burnt Oakland to the ground a week ago. The loser bums on the bottom. The hordes, the mobs of nobodies. Wasn't bad enough what happened in Baltimore. She's going to get up now and wants more. Instead of bringing the people together, instead of saying what happened in Baltimore was terrible, let justice take its course. Instead of telling the kids at Tuskegee to go out there because they've never had a greater opportunity in the history of Africans in America, there's never been a greater opportunity for Africans in America than today. Look at me. Look at my husband. Look how far we've come because this is not a racist nation. And you can go as far as your talents and your wishes will take you. That's what she should have said. Instead, once again, she wraps herself in the victim. What if we had the first Jewish president? I don't know who. I'm going to make some, I don't know who. What if a day comes we have the first Jewish president and the Jewish first lady gets up there and she starts complaining again about being Jewish and being picked on and that people don't like her because of her mother's accent or whatever. How would the nation react to a Jewish first lady saying the same things like I was subject to another set of questions? Or am I too loud or too angry or too emasculating? And what would America say to a thing like that? And what when we have our first Hispanic president, if there's an Hispanic first lady who's as low class as her, who gets up there and starts talking again about racism when she's first lady, ipso facto, if there was such bad racism, she wouldn't be first lady, would she? Since whites make up 68% or more of the population, by definition, the nation has no racism left in it, except from her maybe, and her cohorts, who are steaming up everybody in the country. Everywhere you turn, all they want to do is turn everyone against each other. Anyway, you get the picture. It's kind of repugnant. What I want to do now is talk about something positive. My new novel, Countdown to Mecca, because it's out. I worked very hard on it. It's the last in the series. Many of you bought the previous editions of A Time for War and Abuse of Power. It's a thriller. It's a novel. It's power fiction, tinged with terrorism and intrigue, with an old-school rough-and-tumble journalist as its hero. A thriller sure to score a bullseye with its target audience, said Publishers Weekly, of the earlier one. A fast-paced international thriller whose story spans the globe. Dr. Savage is at a home run with Abuse of Power. The story grips the reader and delivers the goods. Free Republic. They love my first two. So I think this one is the best and the last. So I gave an interview this morning to set the record straight because I'm a little fearful of what the left is going to do with the title. So let's listen to the rest of the interview right here, right now on the Savage Nation. In Countdown to Mecca, I introduced a new character called Sammy Hatfield. That's Jack's half-brother. Sammy is a former Marine who was in a motorcycle accident living on the proceeds of the lawsuit. And he has a neighbor, a call girl named Anna. And Anna's a Russian prostitute. She happens to be working the military generals, okay, in a hotel in San Francisco. And she overhears one word she shouldn't have heard. And they're now after her. She runs into Sammy's apartment. And Jack realizes after trying to help them, he stumbled upon a conspiracy to destroy Mecca. And now he and a group of like-minded